Good morning, all of you. I am your physics sir. How are you? Shall we start our lesson? Yesterday, we already discussed about the introduction of acids, bases, and salts. Now, what about today? Shall we recall what we learned in that last session? In that last session, we already discussed about acids, bases, their definitions, how the acids and bases are prepared, preparation of acids and bases, and after that, some substances and what type of acid or base it contains, and after that one, natural indicators, artificial indicators, how the natural indicators are prepared, and finally properties of acids, bases. So now what we are going to discuss? Now we are going to discuss about chemical properties of acids and bases. Last class we already discussed there are two types of properties. One is physical property, another one is chemical property. Now chemical properties of acids and bases. For that, what we are going to discuss? In this discussion, we will start with one activity, because our 10th standard total topics are mainly involvement in preparation of activities, activity based concept. What about that activity? What about that activity 1? Here, collect the samples from the science laboratory. Collect samples from the science laboratory. They are, what are the samples? H2SO4, HCl, HNO3, CH3COOH, NaOH, CaOH twice, MgOH twice, NH4OH and KOH, etc. So what about their names? Once again we can recall. HCl. HCl means yesterday we already told hydrochloric acid or hydrogen chloride. Next one, H2SO4. H2SO4 means sulfuric acid. HNO3 nitric acid. HNO3 nitric acid. CH3COOH acetic acid. NaOH sodium hydroxide. CaOH twice calcium hydroxide. Calcium hydroxide. MgOH twice magnesium hydroxide. NH4OH ammonium hydroxide. KOH potassium hydroxide. These are all our samples which we taken from our laboratory. Prepare their diluted solutions. What is diluted solution? We already discussed about this diluted in our 9th standard. Diluted is nothing but adding of more and more water to that one drop of concentrated solution. In our laboratory, two types of bottles we are able to see. First one diluted, second one concentrated. Diluted means It consisting of more water and less chemical. Concentrated means it consisting of more chemical. That's why it is very concentrated. That's why those are called concentrated solutions. Diluted solutions, no problem if they fall on our bodies or on our hands, on our face, or whatever it may be. But if a concentrated solution fall on our body, it may causes burning. So take care while handling this diluted and concentrated solutions in the laboratory. Mainly concentrated solutions. Okay. So we already taken different types of samples from our laboratory, and we want to prepare their diluted solutions. Diluted solution means I already told. For example, 1 drop of HCl. We want to take in 1 drop of HCl. It must and should add with 10 drops of water. 10 drops of water. So like this we want to prepare diluted solutions. What about next step? Next step is we want to take in 4 watch glasses. What about the watch glasses? We already drawn in that paper. Watch glass. We want to take in 4 watch glasses, and also we want to collect different types of indicators. Different types of indicators. So what about the different types of indicators here? We want to take in 4 types of indicators. 4 types of indicators. We want to take in 4 types of indicators. What about the 4 types of indicators? The 4 types of indicators are red litmus paper, blue litmus paper, phenolphthalein solution, methyl orange solution. How many types of indicators we already taken here? Red litmus paper, blue litmus paper, phenolphthalein solution, methyl orange solution. Okay, so and we already taken samples. That all samples are we taken in the table, and we note down HCl, H2SO4, HNO3, CH3COOH, NaOH, KOH. MgOH twice, NH4OH, CaOH twice. So these are all our different types of samples which we already collected from our laboratory. So these samples are we want to take in, and 4 types of indicators we already taken here. There is also ready with the watch glass. How many watch glasses here? Already you have taken 4 watch glasses. Okay. First of all, what is our experiment? So in that 4 watch glasses, we want to add first sample. What is the first sample here? HCl. We want to add one drop in that 4 watch glasses. 4 watch glasses. Then we want to take in these 4 samples, 4 indicators. First, red litmus paper dipped in that first watch glass. Second, blue litmus paper dipped in second watch glass. Phenolphthalein solution add in that third watch glass. Methyl orange solution add in fourth watch glass. So what about your conclusion here? What about your concept here? You can observe the color. Either the colors are changes or not. If the colors are changes, you may note down the result on your paper. That is first sample. First sample completed. Once again we want to remove that HCl which is present in 4 watch glasses. We want to remove that one. Then it is cleanly washed and we add second sample, one drop or two drops in that 4 watch glasses. What about our second sample, H2SO4? So take one red litmus paper and dip it in that first watch glass. Take blue litmus paper, dip it into the second watch glass. Take phenolphthalein in the solution in third watch glass and add methyl orange solution in the fourth watch glass. Then what about our concept? We want to observe the colors. Either the colors are changes or not. If the colors are changes, you can note down in our notes or in our paper. Similarly, we want to remove H2SO4. Once again, we want to rinse our with cold water. Then we can ready with 4 fresh watch glasses. Take same next sample. What about our next sample? HNO3. HNO3 means nitric acid. One drop added in that 4 watch glasses. Take red litmus paper, dip it into first watch glass. Take blue litmus paper, dip it in that second watch glass. Take phenolphthalein solution in that third watch glass. We can observe the color. Take methyl orange indicator solution, add in that fourth watch glass and we can observe. So you can write all these observations. After that one, CH3COOH, acetic acid. Same. Dip it into red litmus, blue litmus, phenolphthalein and methyl orange indicator. And we can write the colors. Okay. After this one, we want to take an NaOH. NaOH taken drop wise in each glasses, each of that 4 watch glasses. And red litmus paper dipped in that first watch glass, observe the color. Blue litmus paper dipped into the second watch glass, observe the color. Phenolphthalein solution and observe the color. And fourth one, methyl orange indicator, observe the color. So like this we can conduct all these samples which we already taken. After that KOH, potassium hydroxide, and after that magnesium hydroxide, and after that ammonium hydroxide, and after that calcium hydroxide. And we can observe all these changes or color changes, and it is prepared one table. This table already here we drawn. Serial number 129. Sample solution HCl, H2SO4, HNO3, CH3COOH, NaOH, KOH, MgOH twice, NH4OH, CaOH twice. Red litmus paper, blue litmus paper, phenolphthalein solution, methyl orange indicator solution. Okay. First of all, what is the first one? HCl we can take into that 4 watch glasses and dip red litmus paper. Here red litmus paper is unchanged. Means color is not changes. We can write here unchanged. Next one, blue litmus paper. Blue litmus paper and dip in a second watch glass of HCl. It turns to red. Blue litmus turns to red. So we can write down here turns to red. And third one, phenolphthalein solution. Colorless means color is not changes in HCl solution. And fourth one, methyl orange solution. It turns into pinkish red or simply red color. Pinkish red, but commonly it is called red color. So we can note down all this. We can write down in the table. But what about next one? We want to take an H2SO4. H2SO4 means sulfuric acid. And what about the red litmus paper? Unchanged. What about blue litmus paper? Turns into red. What about phenolphthalein solution? Colorless or no change. And what about methyl orange solution? Turns into pinkish red or red. And next sample HNO3, unchanged. Blue litmus paper turns into red. Phenolphthalein solution, colorless. Methyl orange indicator solution, pinkish red or red. And CH3COOH, acetic acid, same, unchanged. Blue litmus paper turns into red. Phenolphthalein solution, colorless. Methyl orange solution, pinkish red or red. These are all are one type, because do you observe here? These are all are acids because they contain He plus ion. He plus ions. So you don't make or don't mark like this. We can write unchanged, turns to red, colorless, pinkish red. Okay, and fifth one. What is fifth one? Fifth one we want to take an NaOH. NaOH, if you observe 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, they are consisting of OH minus. OH minus means those are nothing but bases. 1 to 4 acids and 5 to 9 bases. Okay. So we want to take in this NaOH solution and add 1 drop in first watch glass and 1 drop second watch glass, 1 drop third watch glass, 1 drop in fourth watch glass. Once again we want to check red litmus paper. What happened? What is the color? It turns into blue. Red litmus paper turns to blue. What about blue litmus paper? Blue litmus paper is unchanged. Unchanged means no change. And what about phenolphthalein solution? It will turns into red or pink. Here we want to consider pink. And what about methyl orange solution? It can change it into yellow. So this is a experiment with NaOH, and we can note down this. And what about next one? We want to take in KOH. KOH means potassium hydroxide. So in that red litmus paper, same, turns to blue. Blue litmus paper, unchanged or colorless. And what about phenolphthalein? Red or pink. And what about methyl orange indicator? Change it into yellow. Similarly, magnesium oxide and NH4OH and calcium hydroxide. If you conduct the same, the colors also same. So from this one, what you have to understand? Why we want to did this experiment? What is the final result? With the help of this one, we can easily understood. From the above activity, we can identify the sample as acidic or basic solution. Do you know? Because we given already here formulas. If I don't given any formulas, directly I given some solutions. This is the formula, that's why you can easily find it consisting of H plus or OH minus. H plus means acid, OH minus means base. But there are no formulas. Simply we are giving solutions. How is it possible to identify the solution is base or the solution is acid? By using of this experiment. By using of these 4 indicators. So what are the 4 indicators here? Red litmus paper, blue litmus paper, next phenolphthalein solution, and after that methyl orange indicator solution. Okay, so here what type of questions he may ask? He directly given this type of table, but here he given some blanks. Directly sample HCl, NaOH, KOH in shuffled order, and here red litmus, blue litmus, phenolphthalein, methyl. He want to given some gaps, 8 gaps. 8 gaps means 8 of 4 marks or 8 ones 8 marks. So we can easily understood what type of questions here we can expect. What is the color of red litmus paper in acidic medium? Unchanged or colorless. What is the color of blue litmus paper in acidic medium? Red color. What is the color of phenolphthalein solution in acidic medium? Colorless. What is the methyl orange solution in acidic medium? Pinkish red or red. Similarly, what is the color of red litmus paper in basic medium? Blue color. What is the blue litmus color in basic medium? No color. What is the phenolphthalein solution color in basic medium? Pink. What is the methyl orange solution color in basic medium? Yellow. So this type of questions frequently we can observe here asking. So take care while reading this activity. It is very important 4 marks concept. Very important 4 marks concept. Okay. So all of you understood about this activity 1. This activity 1 mainly explain. We want to find the given sample is given solution is acidic or basic in nature. Acidic or basic in nature. Okay. If you understood means we want to continue our next concept. What about our next concept? Next concept is nothing but here. Next concept is olfactory indicators. What do you know about olfactory indicators? It is most important 1 mark question. Olfactory indicators. Olfactory indicators. There are some substances whose odor changed or changes in acidic or basic media. These are called olfactory indicators. There are some substances whose odor, what is the meaning of odor? Odor is nothing but smell. Changes in acidic or basic media. These are called olfactory indicators. Because there is one substance. We want to add 1 or 2 drops of acid. If you observe the smell, it is quite different of normal condition. If you take in one liquid, it doesn't have any smell. But if you add 1 or 2 drops of olfactory indicators, then its smell or odor it changes. So that type of indicators are called olfactory indicators. How can you explain about these olfactory indicators? These olfactory indicators we can explain with the help of an activity. It is nothing but second activity. So what about second activity? This is also very simple activity which we can conduct in our house also. We want to take in some onions, knife, plastic bag, clean cloths, HCl, NaOH solution, clove oil, vanilla essence. Clove oil means, do you know clove? It is also one of the most ingredient to prepare biryani. Clove. And vanilla essence, it is also very useful, which is used in preparation of ice creams. So these are the materials are required for conducting of activity 2. What are that materials? Onions, knife, plastic bag, clean cloth, HCl and NaOH solution, clove oil and vanilla essence. So what about this activity, sir? Listen carefully. What about this activity? First of all, we want to take an onions with the help of the knife. We want to chop it into small pieces. Chop it into small pieces means cut into small pieces. And these small pieces of onions placed in a plastic bag and add 2 clean cloths, means cloth strips, and its mouth is tightly fixed with the help of the thread, and this bag is placed into a fridge and keep it for whole night. Next day we can take in the plastic bag from that one and open that, and we can remove that clean cloths or cloth strips. Now they are used as indicators. Okay, so we want to take in one of the cloth is placed on a bench or a table, another cloth is placed in another side of the bench. Take HCl, diluted HCl and NaOH. Add or place 1 or 2 drops of dilute HCl on one cloth strip and diluted NaOH 1 or 2 drops are add on second cloth strip. Now these cloth strips are rinsed in a distilled water or rinsed in your water. Rinsed means we can moving in that water. Then we can observe the smell. We can observe the smell or odor. Then we can easily understood that smell is different. That smell is different. And after that we can collect clove oil, vanilla essence. Clove oil, vanilla essence. So take one test tube, add dilute HCl 1 or 2 drops in one test tube. Take one more test tube, add 1 or 2 drops of NaOH. Then add clove oil mixture or clove oil solution in that 2 test tubes and observe the odor. Observe the odor. Then once again we want to take in 2 more test tubes. In that first test tube we want to add 1 or 2 drops of dilute HCl. Second test tube also add 1 or 2 drops of NaOH solution. Now we want to add vanilla essence. Vanilla essence in that 2 test tube add 1 or 2 drops. Then we can observe the smell. Then we can observe the smell. Then we can easily understood that before adding the smell and after adding that solution smell quite different. Quite different. That's why these are all called as olfactory indicators. So what are olfactory indicators here? Olfactory indicators are onions, clove oil, vanilla essence. Onions, clove oil and vanilla essence. They are all called olfactory indicators. Are you understood this experiment? What we did, we can recall one more time. First of all, we want to take an onions and they are chopped into small pieces with the help of the knife. Then the pieces are placed into a plastic bag. We can add 2 cloth strips, clean cloth strips, means new cloth strips, and they are tied, they are fitted, they are fixed, they are tied with the help of the thread, and that bag is placed into the fridge and it can keep whole night. Next day early morning we can open that plastic bag and we can take in that cloth strips. If you observe the smell, it is quite different. Then they are placed on the table. One is one side, another one another side. Take HCl, dilute HCl and NaOH. We want to add 1 or 2 drops HCl in one side on the cloth strip and NaOH drops on that second cloth strip. Then these 2 cloth strips are rinsed in the water. Then we can observe the smell. The smell is quite different. Then once again we want to take in 2 test tubes. In one of the test tube we want to add 1 or 2 drops of dilute HCl. In second test tube we want to add 1 or 2 drops of NaOH solution. Then we also collect clove oil and vanilla essence. Here we want to add 1 or 2 drops of clove oil in that 2 test tubes and one time you can shake one time and you observe the smell. What you have to understood, that smell is entirely different. Similarly, we want to take in 2 more test tubes. In first test tube we want to take an dilute HCl. In second test tube we want to take an dilute NaOH solution. And we can add now vanilla essence solution. Then once again we can observe the smell. That smell is quite different. So that substance before one type of odor or smell. If you add these type of clove oil, vanilla essence, HCl, NaOH, onions, their color, their odor changes. That's why we already told the definition. There are some substances whose odor changed in acidic or basic media. What is acidic here? HCl. What is basic here? NaOH. These are all called as olfactory indicators. These are all called as olfactory indicators. So here what are the examples of olfactory indicators? The examples of olfactory indicators are onions, clove oil and vanilla essence. I think this is the second time we already discussed. I think most of the students must and should be understood. Okay na? Okay na? And after that there is one question, but actually it is not there in our textbook. How is it possible to prepare one indicator using beetroot? How is it possible to prepare one indicator using beetroot? Most important 4-mark question. How is it possible to prepare one indicator using beetroot? Do you know about beetroots? Yes. Beetroot is also very useful, one of the good vegetable, and it consisting of it is in red or pink color. If we take in that beetroot juice, we will get more and more blood content. The percentage of blood content will be increased. Okay. So how is it possible to prepare that type of one indicator using beetroot? With the help of the onions we already prepared. Now we want to prepare beetroot. Okay, we want to take in 1 or 2 beetroots. Then they are cut into small pieces and they are placed into one bowl. Then add some water and it is heated. It is heated 15 minutes or it is even half an hour. Okay, we want to heat it half an hour. After that it is allowed to cool 15 minutes. Allowed to cool 15 minutes. Then the total solution filtered with the help of the filter paper. We can take an downside solution. It is called filtrate. So remaining waste we can remove outside. So we can take in filtrate. So that is beetroot filtrate. Now what we want to do? Take one filter paper and it is dipped into that beetroot filtrate solution. Then it is changed into red color, red or pink color. Okay, now we want to add dilute solution on that paper. What happened? It does not change into color. But if you add NaOH on that filter paper, it can change into yellow. Acid does not changes. But if you add NaOH 1 or 2 drops on that filter paper, it can changes into yellow color. If you add HCl, there is no change. But if you add base, it color it changes. So in this way we want to prepare one indicator using beetroot. Are you understood? Once again we want to recall. What about that one? Take some beetroot and they are make into small pieces and they place into one bowl. They place into one vessel and add some water and it is heated heated on the Bunsen burner or stove up to half an hour. After half an hour, we want to get down from that stove and it is placed at 15 minutes, allowed to cool 15 minutes. After that, we want to take in filter paper and we want to filtrate this total mixer. Then what happen? We will get filtrate in downside as a liquid state. Waste is upside, we want to remove that waste. Now we want to take in that filtrate. Take one filter paper and it is dipped in that solution, in that filtrate solution. Then it is changes into red or pink. Now that is used to test acid and base. For that, here we want to place that filter paper which is in red color or pink color. Now we want to add 1 or 2 drops of HCl on it. Its color is not changes. Take base NaOH like that. We want to add 1 or 2 drops. Then what happened? Its color is changes into yellow color. Red color changes into yellow color. So this is acts as one indicator using beetroot. Most important 4-mark question. Are you okay? I think in this time all of you understood. And what about our next concept? Do you know why pickles and sour substances are not stored in brass and copper vessels? In your house, if you observe, I think especially in summer, most of the members are used to prepare pickles like mango, tomato, tamarind, etc. They are prepared in copper vessels. They are prepared in brass vessels. They are prepared in metal vessels. No, they must and should use one type of China dish. China dish means it is not belongs to the food item of China. China dish means it is one type of material which is prepared from a clay. Earthen pottery. Okay na? It is in Telugu also called as jadi. Okay na? So they can store in that China dish. Why they are not used this brass or copper vessels? If brass or copper vessels are used, what happen? The pickle will spoil, because that pickle is react with metal. Then automatically within few days the pickle will spoil. But nowadays most of the members are using plastic tins to prepare these pickles. Okay, what is the mechanism here? What happened? For that one, we are going to discuss about one of the most important concept in our lesson. It is nothing but lab activity. What is that lab activity? For that lab activity, we already discussed 9th standard. There are some important side headings. First one, head note, aim, materials required, precautions, procedures, observation, finally conclusion. So here we want to take in one simple way. First of all, we can take in the simple way to demonstrate this one. So what about that one? So in that one, first of all, what are the materials? First of all, what is our aim? Our aim is what happen if acid react with metal, because pickles consisting of acid. This acid react with metal. What happen? Our aim is what happen when acid react with metal. What is the result? That is our aim. Reaction of acid with metal. reaction of acid with metal. That is our aim. What about our materials required? If you observe the diagram, there are some materials. What are the materials? First of all, this is the test tube. Okay, it is clear. It is test tube. This is the stand. Okay, this is the delivery tube. Okay, this is one hole rubber stopper or one hole rubber cork. Okay, next one, this is one of the glass beaker. Okay, and here it can consisting of it can filled with soap water. Okay, here this is the candle. So here what are the apparatus are required for demonstrating of this activity? What are the apparatus? The apparatus are nothing but here stand, next test tube, zinc granules, HCl, hydrochloric acid, delivery tube, glass beaker, soap water, candle, okay, wooden base. These are all our apparatus are required. Okay, then second stage completed. What about third one? Precautions. What about the precautions? Every experiment in a laboratory we must and should take in some precautions, otherwise the result is not comes accurate. It is called experimental errors. If experimental errors are more, the result will decrease. Okay, so what is precaution here? What are the precautions here? First of all, any experiment, arrange the apparatus carefully. Then better to use gloves for your hands. And test that gas carefully. Okay, how is it possible to explain? So precautions completed. And what about next stage? Next stage is procedure. What is the procedure? What do you know about procedure here? Procedure is nothing but what is the main process involved here? So what about the procedure? Listen carefully. First of all, we want to take in zinc granules and add 10 ml of dilute HCl into that test tube. What we take in here? Zinc granules placed in a test tube and also add 10 ml of dilute HCl. Okay, then it is having one hole rubber cork and it is fixed to a retard stand or a stand. Then through that one hole rubber cork we can pass one delivery tube. Okay, the another end of the delivery tube, it is must and should be dipped into the soap water. This is also one type of precaution. The another end of the delivery tube is must and should be dipped into the soap water. Okay, here we already taken one beaker, the beaker consisting of soap water. The another end of this delivery tube is placed inside the soap water. Then what happened? There is a chemical reaction takes place between zinc and hydrochloric acid. Zinc is a metal. Yesterday we already discussed. Zinc is a metal. Zinc granules means zinc pieces, and it is add with 10 ml of HCl. Okay, we already add here 10 ml of HCl. This is the acid. Metal react with the acid. Then what happened? one colorless gas is formed here, and it can passes through that delivery tube. It can passes through the delivery tube. Okay, how can you identify the gas is eliminating here? Air bubbles are coming. Air bubbles are coming. But yesterday I already told some confirmation tests of gases. That's why what here we want to use? What here we want to use? We want to use that air bubbles are coming here. We want to test that gas. How is it possible to test? I already told yesterday. Take one burning splinter. Take one burning splinter or matchstick, burning matchstick. It is placed in the path of gas available. Here gas is coming. It can place it here. Then immediately what happened? What happened? It can puts off with pop sound. Tap. It can puts off with pop sound. Tap sound. So yesterday we already discussed, if any gas, which gas is puts off with pop sound? It is nothing but hydrogen. It is nothing but hydrogen. So in this experiment, which gas is eliminated? Which gas is eliminated? Hydrogen gas. How is it possible to tell about this is a hydrogen gas? Because it can puts off with a pop sound. Finally, here we can easily understood what you have to understood here. Here we can easily understood when we can easily understood when acid means here HCl react with zinc granules. Zinc granule means it is a metal. It can produce ZnCl2, zinc chloride. ZnCl2 means zinc chloride plus which gas is eliminated here? Hydrogen gas. Hydrogen gas is eliminated. So we want to write this is as equation HCl plus Zn. Here HCl we already taken here AQ. AQ means aqueous. We already discussed in first lesson also. Aqueous means the substance which dissolve in water. And next one Zn, zinc. Zinc is in solid state. That's why here we taken yes. Is gives rise to ZnCl2 aqueous. ZnCl2 means zinc chloride. Zinc chloride. And which gas is eliminated here? Hydrogen gas is eliminated. How can you decide it is a gas? We are using upward arrow mark. We are using upward arrow mark. Okay. Then here we want to balance. So here chlorines are 2, but here hydrogens before here we don't add 2. Here only chlorines are only 1. That's why here I want to add 2. This means 2 atoms of hydrogen and hydrogen gas. Cl2 already Cl2. Zn means zinc. So it is called balanced chemical equation. Balanced chemical equation. Okay. So here why we want to write here aqueous, S, aqueous, G. These are called physical states. Physical states of substances. Physical states means if you want to take in a solution. If it is liquid state, we want to use L. If it is solid state, we want to use S. If it is mixed with water, it is called aqueous. If it is gas, it is taken upward arrow mark. There is also one more, downward arrow mark. Downward arrow mark indicates precipitation, PPT. So once again, AQ means aqueous, S means solid, G means gas, upward arrow mark, downward arrow mark means precipitation, PPT, L means liquid state. So like this, if you draw diagram, and also we can write this balanced equation, then only we can get easily 4 more questions. So here what is one mark question or half mark question? What happen if zinc is react with hydrochloric acid? What happen if zinc is react with hydrochloric acid? If zinc is react with hydrochloric acid, then it can produce hydrogen gas. So what about one more question? What happen when metal is react with acid? Which gas is eliminated? The answer is hydrogen gas. Here metal means zinc, HCl means acid. Metal react with acid, it can produce hydrogen gas. Hydrogen gas. So for 4 marks, what type of question we can expect here? Write an activity when acid react with metal with a neat diagram. We want to write the same procedure and also we can draw the diagram. Then only we can get 4 marks. Otherwise we may lose. But here equation is must and should. All students are suffered only to write the equation. So we can practice 2 or 3 times. We can easily understood. HCl acid plus zinc metal, it can produce ZnCl2 zinc chloride, it is aqueous, and hydrogen gas upward aroma. Are you okay? And after that I think, are you understood or shall I repeat it once again? Okay. Aim reaction of acid with metal. Materials required: stand, test tube, zinc granules, hydrochloric acid, delivery tube, 1 hole rubber cork, glass trough, soap water, candle. Next, procedure. First of all, we want to take in some zinc granules and 10 ml of HCl diluted hydrochloric acid in a test tube, and it is fitted with 1 hole rubber cork, and it is also the test tube is fixed to a retard stand. Then we can pass one delivery tube. The another end of the delivery tube is must and should place in a glass trough. Glass trough is filled with half of its volume filled with soap water. Then there is a chemical reaction takes place between zinc granules and hydrochloric acid. Then a colorless gas is produced here through that delivery tube. How is it possible to identify the colorless gas is coming here? By observing of bubbles, air bubbles. Now we can test the gas with the help of burning splinter or a candle. Then we can easily understood that burning candle or that burning matchstick will puts off with a pop sound. Then we can understood that eliminated gas is nothing but hydrogen gas. This total concept reaction we can explain with the help of the equation. HCl plus Zn gives rise to ZnCl2 plus H2. For the equation balancing, we want to write here 2. Then aqueous S solid, aqueous G gas upward arrow mark. This is most important one. So this is the activity. I think in this time you can easily understood. Okay. And after that, what about our next concept? Our next concept is, okay, acid react with metal. Which gas is produced? Hydrogen gas. When acid react with metal, which gas is produced? Hydrogen gas is produced. Very good. But here I want to ask one question. What is the question? What happen if metal react with base? Acid react with metal, we already discussed. What happen if base react with metal? Which gas is eliminated? Is this reaction takes place or not? So that is nothing but our activity 3. This is our next concept. So what is activity 3? Activity 3 is reaction of base with metal. But what about before one? Reaction of acid with metal. But here reaction of base with metal. So here we want to use same concept, same materials. We want to use same materials and same concept which we already used the activity. Here what are the materials? It is also one type of lab activity. So here how many lab activities are here? 2 lab activities. First one is reaction of acid with metal, and what about second one? Second one is reaction of base with metal. Sir, what are the apparatus are required? Here quite change. Stand, test tube, zinc granules, but in the place of HCl we want to take an NaOH. HCl means acid, but here we require base. That's why here I want to take an NaOH. Okay, remaining all are same. Remaining delivery tube, 1 hole rubber cork, so soap, water. Next, remaining everything are common. Then procedure same. First of all we want to take in zinc granules in the test tube and add NaOH solution, 10 ml of NaOH solution, diluted or concentrated, diluted. Okay, then what happened? It is fixed to that retard stand. Then we can pass one delivery tube. Then here we can easily understood one of the colorless gas is same. After chemical reaction takes place, one of the colorless gas is eliminated. Now we want to test the gas with the help of we want to test the gas with the help of burning candle or burning matchstick. Then it is also puts off with a pop sound. Then what we decided here? That is nothing but hydrogen gas. So what you wonder here? Acid react with the metal, it can produce hydrogen gas. Base react with the metal, it is also produce hydrogen gas. Okay, so what about that reaction? That reaction is nothing but here. That reaction is nothing but NaOH aqueous. NaOH means here base, sodium hydroxide. Not only sodium hydroxide, we may take in different types of base. NaOH plus zinc granules, it can give in Na2ZnO2. Na2ZnO2 means sodium zincate. It is the most important one, everybody should write here. Sodium zincate plus H2 upward arrow mark. Here H2 upward arrow mark means hydrogen gas. So here NaOH aqueous, zinc solid, Na2ZnO2. Na2ZnO2 means sodium zincate plus H2. H2 means hydrogen gas, upward arrow mark. But here what is the hint? Here dilute condition, it is not possible to produce hydrogen gas. That's why here we want to use concentrated NaOH. That is the hint. It is also asked for precaution for that base react with metal. What is the main precaution of base react with metal? The main precaution is nothing but we want to take in concentrated sodium hydroxide. So this is the precaution, and remaining all same. So equation we already wrote, diagram also same diagram, but in the place of the diagram, in the place of HCl, we want to change, we want to write here NaOH. Remaining everything is same. Here testing hydrogen gas same. Hydrogen gas is soap, water, remaining okay. And it can express with the help of this equation. 2NaOH plus Zn is gives rise to Na2ZnO2 plus H2. Here Na2ZnO2 means sodium zincate. So when base react with metal, which gas is eliminated? Hydrogen gas. Hydrogen gas is eliminated. Okay, here there is also one important question. What about that question? Why soap water is used here? That is my question. In that experiment, why we want to use soap water? Why we want to use soap water? Why here we want to use soap water in both experiments? Why we want to use soap water here? Soap water here we want to use mainly causes hydrogen gas is not dissolved. Hydrogen gas is not dissolved. Hydrogen gas is not dissolved in that. Hydrogen gas is not dissolved. Hydrogen gas is not dissolved in soap water. Hydrogen gas is not dissolved. Actually, this point is not there in our textbook. This is one of the creative question. Why we want to use soap water here? Hydrogen gas is not dissolved in soap water. That's why here we want to take in soap water. Sir, if you want to take in water, what happened? Some hydrogen gas dissolve in water. Dissolve in water. But in soap water, hydrogen gas is not dissolved. That's why here we take in soap water. So I think all of you understood about this concept. First activity, second activity, lab activity, and activity 3. Actually 4 activities we already completed. 1, 2, 3 activities and lab activity. Lab activity and third activity both are same, but one condition we want to use acid, in another condition we already used base. Okay, here what about the formula of sodium zincate? What about the formula of sodium zincate? What about the formula of sodium zincate? Na2ZnO2. Na2ZnO2, sodium zincate. What is the formula of sodium hydroxide? NaOH. What is the formula of zinc chloride? ZnCl2. Zinc chloride, ZnCl2. What about the acetic acid? CH3COOH. CH3COOH. Okay, in this session what we learned already, shall we recall? Chemical properties of acids and bases. Chemical properties of acids and bases. Okay, activity 1, in that one we already taken different types of samples. The samples are nothing but HCl, H2SO4, HNO3, acetic acid, NaOH, CaOH twice, MgOH twice, NH4OH and KOH. We already prepared diluted solutions, and we also collected 4 watch glasses. We want to add one drop in that 4 watch glasses of one sample. Then we can test with 4 indicators: red litmus paper, blue litmus paper, phenolphthalein solution, methyl orange solution. So what about the changes? We already note down in the table. HCl red litmus unchanged, blue litmus turns into red, phenolphthalein solution colorless, methyl orange pinkish red or red. In basic medium, red litmus paper turns into blue, blue litmus paper not changed, phenolphthalein solution change into pink color, and methyl orange indicator change into yellow. And from the above activity we can conclude that the given sample is acidic or basic in nature. And after that, olfactory indicators. What is the definition of olfactory indicators? There are some substances whose odor changes in acidic or basic media is called as olfactory indicators. For that we already prepared activity 2, and after completion of activity 2 we already used one more most important 4-mark question. How do you possible to prepare own indicator by using of beetroot? And after that, what happened? The pickles react with brass and copper. For that one we already demonstrate one lab activity. So in that lab activity, when acid react with metal, which gas is eliminated? Hydrogen gas is eliminated. And similarly, acid react with metal, it can produce hydrogen gas. If base react with metal, which gas is produced? That gas is nothing but hydrogen gas. So in both conditions, hydrogen gas is only eliminated. That's why these topics are very, very important. So I think all of you understood about these concepts clearly. And next tomorrow we can meet with one more next concept. Until then, bye, take care.